64 Tacos Podcasts presents Is This Song Good? This is episode 80. Talk, New Grass.
Welcome to I Caught It on Audio. In today's episode, we are continuing our Is This Song Good series. The theme this time around is One Hit Wonders, but not the hit. This time we've got a song that Zach picked called New Grass by the band Talk. So why don't you tell us why you picked this one, Zach?
I didn't really know about Talk that much in the 80s. The one hit, It's My Life. I definitely heard it because it was always familiar when I went to find it again. But it wasn't really that big of a hit like some of these other one hits.
It's probably more popular by the No Doubt version, right?
Yeah, I guess. I'm not familiar with that version.
No? Okay.
It's a totally fine cover. It's nothing amazing. It's fine. Okay. It's what you'd expect it to be.
So where I originally found out about the band was I've been hugely into this Canadian musician Matthew Good for quite a long time, and I think he did like a blog post about how much he liked Talk, and so from that I was like, oh, okay, well let me see if they're all that, and so I listened through their kind of discography in random order, and their last album, Laughing Stock, from the early 90s really struck a chord with me just because it was very post-rock sounding. It was not commercial. Like there was nothing about that album that would have been something that a record company could try and sell and get on radio stations. And as I went through that album, the song New Grass just really kind of struck a chord and popped out to the point where I actually listened to it on repeat outside of the album context. And I really liked it. There's a vulnerability about it. There's I like the sparse instrumentation. Like there are parts that are very like the drum beat, the driving drum beat throughout the whole song is very, very repetitive. It doesn't, as far as I can tell, it doesn't really change.
It's one measure.
Yeah,
that repeats.
But then you have keyboards, some keyboard bits that kind of come in and out, and organ parts, and you've got the main guitar riff that is really, really memorable. In fact, I can hear it in my head a lot of times. And then, the lyrics, I can't really get a sense what's going on with the lyrics. It seems kind of like about death and afterlife, and there's some sort of religious symbolism in there as well. But I love this song, and you guys know how I feel about long songs. Like they're not really my cup of tea, in general,
Yep.
But I think what this one does well is it doesn't really feel like a long song. It has enough variety and sort of like a progression of going from one place to another place. And then it kind of just sort of relaxes, if you will, kind of like breathes out towards the end. So it's been a favorite of mine, and when anybody talks about Talk as sort of like this band from the 80s or whatever, and they have that hit song, that's not what pops up in my mind. What pops up in my mind is this song and these later albums in their discography that are much more about them trying to do the things that they want to do as musicians and not really trying to fit into a mold of selling something for a record company. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this song as well, because it has been such an interesting one for me over the years, and I'm curious about your perspective on it. So, Dave, why don't you go first? Because I think
I need to go last.
You need to go last. Okay, yes. Then Dan, why don't you
go? I'm familiar with this song and this album because you I'm pretty sure you gave it to me.
I think he gave you a burned copy of it.
Yeah, a legally burned copy. Let's not,
Right. Yes.
Let's not dig our own grave
all the
here.
licensing was paid, and yes.
I believe I gave you some tacos at a certain point from Adobe or something, and then that was that.
And then he paid the licensing to the band and the.
Well, and I assume I'm covered because I assume Zach sent the money / tacos to Mark Hollis himself. I can only assume.
The checks were in the mail.
It's on its way. So it's funny. This I hadn't listened to this in a long time. It's just kind of one of those ones that slipped through the cracks. But I think of it more as a full album than individual songs, because the songs, for the most part, sort of drift into existence for a while and then just drift back out, and then the next song drifts in. It's like you said, I think of it as post rock, or maybe an early version of post rock where it's not the sort of Godspeed You Black Emperor or Explosions in the Sky, where it's just instrumentation almost entirely, but because there is singing, it's very hard to understand the words he's saying for me. It all felt brand new when I was reading the lyrics. I was like, oh, I had no idea he was saying any of this stuff.
Oh yeah. It's the same with me. Like the lyrics aren't.
Was he singing in English?
Yeah, he was. He's British, so it's definitely British English.
English.
Yeah, but no, like when I actually looked up the lyrics, it was the exact same thing for me. It was all kind of brand new because I never focused on the lyrics or the lyrical content. To me, it was kind of like the Sigur Rós thing, where it's like it's the voice is an instrument.
It's an instrument, exactly, yeah. And that's where I was headed with that. The voice sort of like slides in and out, and on this song, you have you have the drum beat that just loops. And it's not even, it's almost like a jazz drum beat, and it doesn't hit on 2 and 4 with the snare. It's on the ands, and it sort of never feels fully settled. And then you have the guitar and some keyboards, and it all just sort of slides in and slides out. And sometimes the colors of the music change, and then it loops back. And I find this sort of thing very meditative. It's like
I think the word you're looking for is boring.
I'm not shocked that you feel that way, and I'm not surprised. I don't think this is for everybody. I think if you're looking for more melody or more, sort of compact songwriting, then this is definitely not for you. I always liked the whole album. This song didn't jump out as a single favorite the way it did for you, Zach, but I think that's just because I think of this album as a whole, and it was fun to go back and listen to this again. I really enjoy it. I think that this is a song that it's sort of like it's background music that you can choose to have in the background, or you can listen closely to depending on what your mood is. But I also understand why when the band made this turn, the record labels were like, what am I supposed to do with this? I can't play this on the radio. This does not sound like It's My Life. It's a complete turn. And I think it's beautiful, and I think it's great. But I also know that this is not music for everyone. And on that note, Dave, let's hear the other side of the argument.
So this song initially struggles from symptom of early 90s recording where it's too quiet. It's just fundamentally too quiet. And I don't know if was a artistic choice, or if it was something that this was a loser of the loudness wars or not. But
Loudness Wars had not kicked in yet at this time.
91. I thought that was like right when they were starting, but
I think it's a little later.
Nope, it's quite a bit later. Actually, it was mid to late 90s. It was when they were really trying to ramp up the getting the radio airplay, which obviously is not going to come in on this.
No. So that sucked, first of all, because I had to turn the volume like halfway up to the max, and just in order to pull out the different parts of the song. But that's a production problem, not a songwriting problem, unless it was a deliberate decision to have it be this quiet and this moody. That's the only reason I can think why they would want to do that. But I don't think that, Zach, you said that you liked to listen to it on repeat.
Yeah.
I think the song is just that long that you thought you were listening to it on repeat. Because it's the same song over and over and over for 9+ minutes, almost 10 minutes.
9 minutes and 41 seconds.
And there's not even any mention of a girl who lives at the edge of town in this song. So there's no point in it taking that long to get to the end. Yeah. The drums were boring, and for some reason were the focal point in the mixing. Like, they were the only thing that I could hear for a very long time. And I did not like that. It was kind of neat when the organ came in, but then I was immediately reminded of Turtle Dreams by Meredith Monk, the true minimalist epic that this doesn't quite live up to, because this is only 10 minutes, and I think Turtle Dreams is like 25 minutes. But and there's definitely not enough yodeling in this song if you're going to have it be that kind of song.
I think Mark Hollis tries to yodel, but it doesn't quite
well, I don't know what he's trying to do. And Dan, I'm surprised you didn't complain about the extremely affected vocals on this. Like, that's something you like notably dislike.
Well, I think it's case by case. I reserve the right to complain about something for that reason and then not complain about it.
If it's art house, then it's good. But if it's pop, then I don't like it.
Well, the thing about the vocals is they're barely vocals. It's almost like an instrument. It doesn't cut through. The affected vocal thing when it's a pop song or like a radio song is more noticeable to me.
Like, I'm fine with it in a pop song where you can actually hear what the singer is singing. But and if you want to say that this is just the vocalist using their voice as an instrument, that's fine too. But then why are you singing lyrics? And then my biggest complaint about this is it's not a song. It's a series of music that just kind of meshes and then it's no longer there anymore. There's no beginning, middle, or end to make this an actual song. It just bored the shit out of me. It's not that it's unenjoyable, because it's fine, but why am I devoting 10 minutes straight to this that doesn't accomplish anything? If all I want is noise on in the background, it's perfectly fine for that. But I've already got dogs to fill that void. So,
they're not. If you could only train them to be a little bit more musical, then maybe they could produce something that was artistic and enjoyable.
Dave might argue that they are more musical. I think that might be his.
That's the thing. This is definitely music, but it's not a song.
Well, it's based on your definition of what a song is, because you can just have somebody plinking on an acoustic guitar for 5 minutes, and that's still a song, even though there's not really a true structure to what you want it to be.
Yeah, we could get into a philosophical debate on what a song is, but this did not feel like a song. There was no beginning, middle, and end. It was just music. It's
certainly not verse, chorus, bridge type songwriting.
No, and I'm not saying it's got to be that either. But and it sounds like I hated this, and I didn't. I just didn't think it was amazing. I didn't think there was anything particularly interesting about it. I didn't dislike a single second of listening to it, but it so boring, so boring. Anyway,
do you think
that's my humble opinion on this one?
Do you think it's
very humble indeed?
better than the one hit wonder from this band? In any way?
I don't recall the one hit wonder, the Talk version of it. Like, I've currently got the No Doubt version going through my head right now.
Okay.
Sounds very similar.
And I haven't listened to that in a decade, whereas I just listened to this song half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago, and I can't tell you I couldn't recall anything other than
But it sounds like maybe you need to get a better audio system. And with that note, what do we have coming up? Well, so first of all, is this song good?
Is this song good? Dan, what do you think?
I will say, despite the anger in one corner of this podcast, I'm joking, and I know you're not actually angry. I like this song. I think it's good.
And Zach, do you think this song is good?
Yeah, I do. I think there's something valuable here, even if not everybody sees it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I will reiterate. I don't think that this is a bad song, despite my.
It's just offended you on a personal level.
Exactly. But I don't feel like it's a good song either. It's just kind of meh and perfectly fine in the background when I don't have to think about it.
You don't feel like it's a song, it sounds like. Therefore, good or bad does not even count.
No, it's what I hear when, and I don't mean to go all back into it, but you could be sitting there at band practice, and half the people haven't shown up there, and it's just kind of everybody's kind of doing their thing on their instrument, and maybe that's enjoyable for some people to listen to, but that doesn't mean it's a song.
Well, that's I'll just say I don't agree, but that's okay. That's okay.
Dan, what do we have for next week?
We're going to bring it back to Dave style songs, and that they're recognizable as songs to Dave, whatever that means. With some affected vocals, we'll say. Why not? So we're going to do a song by Marcy Playground.
No, that's what I was going to pick.
Known for Sex and Candy. I'm going to do a song off their second album that I think very few people spent any time or effort on as far as listening. I don't know if you guys have listened to it much, but
I have. Yeah.
We're going to do Rebel Sodville.
Okay.
We'll do that next week.
Excellent.
All right.
Well, if you want more content like this, you can find everything we've done at 64tacos.com. If you really liked it, go to buymeacoffee.com/64tacos and you can buy us a taco. Tell us what you think of this song in the comments section. And thanks for listening.
I caught it on audio.